Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Comic Issues Daily. We've got a stacked lineup today. Comic shops are booming again. Kevin Feige might be undoing Marvel's biggest deaths. The MCU's finally paying off an 8-year-old post-credit tease, and the Hulk is about to go full rampage against an army of predators. Plus, there's speculations about lanterns hinting at a massive DCU villain, a gorgeous Doctor Strange artist edition, decades in the making, and Michael Turner's Ecos is returning. And Marvel and McFarland just dropped brand new TMNT figures. Let's dive into it. Before we do that, just a reminder, this is October Comics Curing Cancer Month. So on the screen, we have the QR code and link to Comics Curing Cancer. This is a big month for them. This is where they're doing the online auctions across YouTube through multiple channels. So please check that out. And I will have the schedule for all that later in the show. First story we got for you today is comic shops are seeing the biggest boom in years. And Rich Johnston over at bleedingcool.com says the secret is younger generations are finding their way into the hobby. In the UK, Sasarna book scan data shows overall print sales have dipped slightly by 0.9% through October 4th, but graphic novels actually rose to 0.7% during the same stretch. Meanwhile, in the U.S., ICV2 Milton Grippy revealed at NYCC that total comics and graphic novels sales hit 1.935 billion last year. And that's a massive 73% jump compared to 2019. Inside comic shops, floppies rose 12.2% and graphic novels ticked up 1.3% in 2024. Johnston explains that the rise comes from new fans raised on manga and Dogman and webtoons discovering the direct market through DC Absolute Lines, Marvel's new Ultimate titles, and Image's Energon and Invincible universes. Probably with TV and stuff like that is helping to drive people that way to the comics. Comic Hub POS data, which tracks 5 to 10% of the market, shows 2025 sales up 27% from last year, with many stores struggling to keep graphic novels in stock due to unexpected demand and distributor issues. Are you seeing more young faces in your shop lately? It's a good time to be a retailer again. And while the shops are buzzing with new energy, some fans think Marvel might be going too far, digging up some old ghosts. Patrick Walker at CBR thinks Kevin Feige might have crossed the line with the latest MCU decisions. Walker argues that bringing back the actors between two of Marvel's most emotional deaths, Wolverine and Iron Man, could undo years of careful storytelling. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine had a perfect ending in Logan back in 2017, a movie so well crafted that Feige reportedly used it as inspiration for Endgame's final moment. But now Wolverine's came back for Deadpool and Wolverine, and insider Daniel Richmond claims Jackman will appear in more projects after Secret Wars. At the same time, Robert RDJ is returning, not as Tony Stark, but as Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday. Walker says Feige refuses to let his favorites go gently into that good night, even if it risks cheapening their original finales. Still, Deadpool and Wolverine shatter box office records for both superhero and R-rated films, so maybe nostalgia still sells. What do you think? Is Feige's revival streak good for fans or bad for storytelling? And speaking of long-term storytelling, one of Marvel's forgotten post-credit scenes is finally paying off 8 years later. After years of waiting, Sean Lelos at comicbook.com confirmed that Spider-Man's that Marvel finally following through on a major tease from Spider-Man: Homecoming. Remember that post-credit scene where Vulture met Matt Gargan, Scorpion, in prison? It's coming back around in Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Lelos explains that Michael Mando is returning as Scorpion, and the movie's leaning into a gang war storyline that ties right back into the 8-year-old setup. This movie gives fans hope that Marvel hasn't forgotten its own history. Lelos points out that the leader from The Incredible Hulk has finally returned after 17 years, proving that payoffs might just take time. Other dangling teases like Black Knight's sword moment with Blade, Eros' arrival in Eternals, and Hercules hunting Thor are still waiting in the wings. What old post-credit scenes do you still want resolved? There are a lot of them, especially if you're a consistent Marvel movie watcher. You know what they are. And while Marvel's revisiting its past, the Hulk's out there creating all new chaos, and this time he's smashing Predators. Um, Brian Corin at CBR breaks down one of the craziest crossovers yet. Predator kills the Marvel Universe. Kraven the Hunter leads a you take I don't know how to say the Predator's name or species name invasion that already wiped out the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Fantastic Four, and even a few X-Men. In issue number 3 is written by Benjamin Percy with art by Daniel Piccoli. Kraven tricks Bruce Banner into transforming by making him believe the Avengers are dead, and then leads him into a Predator ambush. But the Hulk isn't falling quietly. Corin says Hulk tears through the first wave like they're made of paper mache, forcing the survivors, including Wolverine and Spider-Man, to rally for a desperate counterattack. It's big, bloody, and absolutely bonkers. Would you want to see Marvel adapt this into animation or live action someday? Not really. I would just I'm just going to read it in trades. That's enough, or what I would want to get out of this. But meanwhile, over in the DCU, fans are buzzing about a piece of merch that might have just spoiled the franchise's next major villain. Mark Cassidy over at comicbookmovie.com reports that a single piece of Lantern merchandise, a baseball cap with a spiral logo inside the Green Lantern emblem, has sparked storms of fan theories. Many believe it teases the arrival of the Center, the sentient island also known as Dinosaur Island from the New Frontier. A now deleted Reddit video even tied the spiral to the Peacemaker Season 2 finale, Salvation. Discovery suggests that James Gunn's DCU might be slowly building towards the same apocalyptic threat. Cassidy adds that the show follows Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan investigating a dark, earthbound mystery in the American heartland. James Gunn calls it True Detective with Space Cops. And with Chris Mundy, Damon Lindelof, and Tom King writing, is shaping up to be DC's most grounded series yet. Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, fresh from Gunn's Superman, is also confirmed to appear. Do you think the Center could really be DC's next big bad, or is it all a misdirect? Who knows when it comes to movies and from the comic book creators. And speaking of alternate DC worlds, the Absolute Universe just pulled 2 major icons into the mix, including one very familiar speedster. Matt Morrison at Superhero Hype reports that DC's Absolute Flash number 8, written by Jeff Lemire with art by Travis Moore, expands the new Absolute Universe by adding Jay Garrick and Eobard Thawne. Morrison says that the issue flashes back to a disgraced Barry Allen, whose radical quantum theories catch the attention of Dr. Eleanor Thawne, and she recruits him to start Blue Trinity, a top-secret project from the Oppenheimer era that tried to reach a realm of exotic living energy. The project's original lead was Eleanor's grandfather, Eobard Thawne, who became obsessed with supernatural explanations and opening a portal between realities. Jay Garrick, then a military officer, tried to stop him, but both men were pulled through. Morrison notes it's unlikely DC introduced them only to kill them off, suggesting Jay will emerge as the universe's first Flash and Eobard as the reverse Flash. That's classic DC symmetry right there. And then from Speedster to Sorcerer, let's talk about a collector's dream release that's been decades in the making. According to David Brook at AIPT, Skybound and Scott Duniper's Act 4 Publishing are teaming up for the Doctor Strange by Paul Smith Artist Edition, a deluxe 12x17 hardcover scanned straight from Smith's original pages. Brooks says it collects issues 65, 69, 70, and 72, along with 40 pages of bonus art, rare covers, and even Smith's very first Marvel story. a 10-page Daredevil tale from Marvel Fanfare #1. Scott Duniper calls it some of Smith's best work ever, while Nash Martian describes it as a museum-quality reproduction. Every blue pencil line and ink wash has been preserved for a true-to-life look at his progress. It hits comic shops August 12th of 2026 and bookstores August 25th. Priced at $150. Would you pick up an edition like that, or would you stick to the trades? And then from the mystic arts to the magic of world building, Michael Turner's Ecos is finally returning and is uniting its greatest creations. Matthew Aguilar at comicbook.com revealed that Michael Turner's and Jeff Johns' Ecos is returning for a volume 2, finally expanding a concept that fans first saw teased back in 2003. Back then, it's a Lost Wizard magazine poll to Soulfire that was shelved for years. But under Aspen Comics and David Maisels, the series is officially back with a Kickstarter launched on October 21st. This sequel marks the first ever crossover between Grail Aspen from Phantom and Grace from Soulfire. The creative team features JT Cruel, Alex Conant, Mark Rosen, and Peter Stegwald and Josh Reed, with David Nakayama on cover art. Maisel says Grail's unique design lets readers explore the world of Ecos through his eyes. The trio's story follows their shared mission through chaos, conflict, and a final confrontation with humanity. Would you back a campaign like this, or wait for print? And then from fantasy heroes to action figures, McFarland Toys is diving into the sewer with a brand new TMNT line. Hold on just a second. Tyler Roberts at Bleeding Cool reports that McFarland Toys is launching a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Page Punters line based on IDW Comics. With Donatello leading Wave 1, Roberts says the 5-inch figures come fully articulated and loaded with accessories: bow, staff, holder, wrench, blowtorch, alternate head, hands, and even swappable feet. Each figure also includes an exclusive IDW Page Punter Edition comic reprint, set during a moment when the Turtles are recovering after rescuing Leonardo from Shredder's control. The team, bruised and exhausted, hides outside New York while trying to stabilize Leo's mental state. Donnie's rejoined by Leonardo and Shredder and a foot soldier in the first wave, priced at $27.99 and releasing in October, releasing this month with pre-orders live now. Which Turtles are you snagging first? And speaking of collectibles, let's wrap up today's episode with the Cover Price Daily Shakers Report, where some big keys just moved some serious money. All right. And according to Cover Price, today's top movers include Amazing Fantasy 15 from 1962, the first appearance of Spider-Man, Aunt May, Uncle Ben, and Flash Thompson, which sold for $23,500 in a CGC 3.0. Then we got the Fighting Five number 40 from 1966, the first appearance of Peacemaker. Can't imagine why that's hot right now. Hit $7,200 in a CGC 9.0. And then we got Incredible Hulk issue number 81 from 1974. Wolverine's first full appearance sold for $5,936 in a CGC 9.0. And then we got X-Men number 1 from 1963. Went for $5,101 in a CGC 3.0. And then we got some Golden and Silver Age books that are still commanding strong prices. Detective Comics issue number 168 from 1951, the first Red Hood appearance, sold as a raw for $5,000. And then we got Giant Size X-Men number 1 from 1975, sold for $4,050 in a CGC 9.0. And Seven Seas Comics number 4 is a classic Matt Baker cover, landed $3,600 in a CGC 1.0, showing that Matt Baker commands a lot Matt Baker's books command a lot. Then we got Superman number 12 from way back in 1941, brought in $3,300 in a CGC 6.5. along with Action Comics number 47 from 1942. Gave us the first cover appearance of Lex Luthor hit $3,250 in a CGC 6.5. And then we got a little bit of horror at the end to wrap us up. We got House of Secrets number 92 from 1971. The first Swamp Thing closed at $3,120 in a CGC 8.0. Which of these grails would you want in your collection? Me, it's like Pokemon. I want them all. And then don't forget, please check out our channel sponsor, Ron's Comic Closet. It's got new releases, back issues, and other collectibles. And if you use code I have issues at checkout, you'll get 20% off your first purchase over at Ron's Comic Closet. And I have to call back to the beginning of this episode. I mentioned that October is C3 month, or Comics Curing Cancer month, and we have the Comics Curing Cancer YouTube auctions that are going to be happening October 24th through the 26th. And I have the schedule of those shows right here. So here we go. All right, and also I'd like to promote or call out my other live stream that I do every Sunday. Is Comic Channel Origins, and this Sunday I'm going to be interviewing Mike from Lunch Money Comics. Talk to him about how he's grown his YouTube channel from when he started from 0 subscribers and 0 views up to where he is now with over 20,000 subscribers. So please check that out. That'll be this Sunday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. Stop by, ask some questions, and let's all learn from each other. That's it for today's Comic Issues Daily. We'll be back tomorrow breaking down even more of the biggest stories from across Marvel, DC, and beyond, including rumors and gossip. If you enjoyed hanging out, drop a like, share your thoughts, and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. And I'll see you bright and early tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody.